FIFA doesn't make footballs or own teams. So how does it make billions? Without manufacturing equipment, owning stadiums, or managing clubs, FIFA operates as the ultimate holding company of global football, controlling the world's most lucrative single sport event. Legally registered in Switzerland as a non-profit association, the organization enjoys a highly favorable tax structure, yet its balance sheet rivals that of a major multinational corporation. The business model relies on 4 primary engines: television broadcasting rights, marketing partnerships, ticketing and hospitality, and licensing. During the 2019 to 2022 commercial cycle, this machine generated $7.6 billion, leaving FIFA with liquid cash reserves exceeding $3.9 billion. The targets for the 2023 to 2026 cycle push even higher, with projected revenue reaching nearly $13 billion. The largest slice comes from television broadcasting rights at $5.3 billion. Ticket sales and corporate hospitality are budgeted to deliver $3.6 billion, while marketing rights add another $2.69 billion to the ledger. While FIFA states that 81% of this income is allocated back into global development programs and football-related spending, the massive scale of these transactions constantly clashes with its non-profit designation. By positioning itself as the exclusive owner of the tournament's intellectual property, the association has transitioned from a simple sports regulator into a highly consolidated corporate treasury. Broadcasters and sponsors are not donating to the game, they are purchasing concentrated global attention. The Qatar 2022 tournament reached an estimated 5 billion viewers, with the final match alone drawing 1.42 billion people and individual matches averaging 175 million viewers. This unmatched scale makes the steep entry fees a rational business investment. Fox secured the U.S. English language rights for the 2026 tournament for approximately $480 million, expecting to recover that cost through advertising sales, subscriptions, streaming bundles, and secondary rights. The broadcast network bets that live sports remain the last reliable defense against audience fragmentation. For global brand partners like Coca-Cola, Adidas, Visa, McDonald's, and Budweiser, the primary asset is strict exclusivity. These corporations pay up to $100 million per cycle to ensure their direct market competitors are locked out of the stadium entirely. Because rivals constantly attempt ambush marketing through unofficial campaigns, the legal protection of this exclusivity keeps the pricing high. This concentrated visibility drives measurable returns, often showing double-digit sales spikes and substantial brand uplift during the tournament. In this business, rights fees are not a vanity cost, but a calculated play to capture the world's most consolidated marketplace. At dawn on May 27, 2015, Swiss police entered the Boer au Lac Hotel in Zurich. They arrested senior football executives, executing a joint operation with American authorities that shocked the global sports industry. Hours later, the United States Department of Justice unsealed a 164-page indictment, charging 14 individuals with racketeering, bribery, wire fraud, and money laundering. This legal action exposed a highly organized pipeline of illicit payments. Federal prosecutors detailed a paper trail involving roughly $150 million in alleged kickbacks, spanning more than 2 decades. The scheme primarily focused on the sale of media and marketing rights in the Americas, showing how access to lucrative broadcast contracts became a private currency for corrupt officials. These charges did not occur in a vacuum. Years of warning signs, including ticketing controversies and disputed bidding processes for hosting rights, had long raised red flags. However, the 2015 indictments transformed an internal governance crisis into a global legal reckoning. Sponsor confidence wobbled, and several major corporate partners threatened to walk away, causing immediate reputational damage. In the aftermath, the association enacted structural reforms, establishing new ethics mechanisms, introducing executive term limits, and publishing more detailed financial reports. But as revenues continued to break records, observers questioned whether these steps truly changed the substance of the system or simply polished its public optics. For sovereign governments, chasing a World Cup is a state-backed gamble, where the costs are heavily front-loaded and the financial returns remain highly speculative. Host nations routinely trade guaranteed public capital for promises of global prestige, tourism booms, and infrastructure upgrades. Yet the post-event reality rarely matches the initial economic pitch. In 2010, South Africa spent approximately $3.9 billion on 10 stadiums, alongside $1.5 billion for transport networks. While commuter rail systems remained useful, the country experienced only a modest 0.5% GDP uplift the following year, leaving municipal budgets burdened with the ongoing costs of empty venues. 4 years later, Brazil raised the stakes. The country directed $11.6 billion towards stadium construction and renovations, with another $3 billion spent on supporting infrastructure. Today, many of those premier arenas sit quiet or completely abandoned, operating at persistent deficits that local taxpayers must subsidize. Russia repeated this exact sequence in 2018, spending $2.5 billion on its stadiums and $3 billion on transport projects. Just like its predecessors, the tournament left behind a trail of state-funded venues that struggle with low occupancy rates, transforming highly promoted legacy projects into long-term fiscal liabilities. This repeating pattern reveals who actually profits from the host side investment. While the public treasury carries the risk of empty stadiums, the real financial gains flow elsewhere. Large construction conglomerates and private builders secure multi-billion-dollar government contracts up front, leaving them as the only guaranteed winners of this multi-billion-dollar game. The peak of this state-funded gamble arrived in 2022. Headline claims asserted, Qatar spent over $200 billion to host the tournament, but separating the promotional slogan from actual accounting reveals a different balance sheet. When stripping away private commercial developments and broader economic impact claims, the narrower, direct state-directed capital investment was closer to $110 billion. Qatar's state investment apparatus divided this massive capital expenditure into highly defined projects. Core stadium construction cost $7.5 billion. The rest went into building a nation. $36 billion for the new metro and rail network, $13 billion for airport expansion, and $30 billion for hotels and hospitality. Another $20 billion went to roads, utilities, and urban regeneration, while legacy projects took $5 billion, and contingency financing added $10 billion. This massive build-out was never designed to turn a quick tournament profit. The long-term logic was structural, using the event as a catalyst to diversify the economy away from hydrocarbons, boost global tourism, and purchase international brand status. The ultimate test is whether this direct outlay can produce a durable economic return, or if it remains a multi-billion-dollar play for symbolic global influence. The ledger of the World Cup reveals a stark divide between those who secure the profits and those who absorb the liabilities. On the winning side, FIFA sits at the apex, capturing billions from broadcast rights and marketing without the cost of building stadiums. Broadcasters and sponsors convert exclusive access into viewer attention and advertising revenue. Construction firms lock in guaranteed multi-billion-dollar government contracts up front. Even the game's physical symbols are heavily commercialized. Swiss firm Westerreich and Company manufactured the $25 million trophy, which is insured for $10 million per tournament and monetized through global tours and replica licensing. On the losing side, host country taxpayers and municipal budgets inherit the maintenance of empty arenas, carrying the financial risk of an event where the profits are strictly private, but the costs are entirely public. Today, the World Cup is a sovereign debt trap disguised as a game, While host nations inherit billions in liabilities, one private cartel walks away with guaranteed, tax-free profits. The tournament's ultimate winner is always decided long before kickoff. Join the conversation in the comments below.